Leaking is very common, especially for women after childbirth, but it can honestly happen to anyone. And that's why you're going to love the one quick stretch I'm about to show you that will stop you from peeing your pants nearly overnight. In just a few moments, you can begin to free yourself of this condition for good. This leaking has been holding you back from the body you deserve and the life you deserve. Imagine not being chained by the fear of embarrassment and being able to break free from those chains.
I've suffered overactive bladder symptoms for at least 15 years and just thought, well, it's the normal aging process. But it doesn't have to be. You don't have to carry pads around with you and extra pair of underwear and always look for where the bathroom is. You don't have to get up at night 6 times and wake up tired. Just by doing a few stretches, I've noticed a great difference. Don't have to plan as much about, where the bathroom's going to be, especially during COVID times, because many bathrooms are closed. I highly recommend this program to you. Alex really knows what she's talking about, and she's amazing.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who suffer from leaking whenever you laugh, cough, or sneeze, I'm so sorry for what you've been going through. I understand how it impacts everything from your social life to your very identity. And that's why I'm here to help you. The pelvic floor is a woven basket of muscles that hold your bladder, uterus, and bowels. The pelvic floor relaxes to allow us to urinate or have a bowel movement. It contracts to stop the flow of urine, tightens the vagina opening, or prevents us from passing stool or gas. If you've ever experienced accidental leakage, you'll want to keep watching because I'm about to show you the most important pelvic strengthening exercises you'll find anywhere. They're crucial if you want to get back to living an active lifestyle. As well, in this short presentation, you're going to learn about the one tight muscle in your upper body that has been damaging your pelvic muscles, making everything weak down below. I know how deeply this condition can change your life and impact the people around you too. If you've ever felt like you had to wear dark-colored pants in case you leak in public, you're not alone. I used to feel the exact same way, and I'm going to show you how I changed my life by strengthening my pelvic floor. I'm finally able to jump and run again. Not only did I cure my leaking, but also my mom's and thousands of my loyal clients. I'll be revealing to you the #1 invisible malfunction damaging your pelvic area, causing leaking, lower back, hip, and pelvic pain. And the best part is, you're going to be shocked how easy it is to fix. Imagine how good it'll feel to be pain-free and not have to stay close to the bathroom anymore. You'll finally be able to pick up your grandchildren again, and you'll no longer miss out on dinner parties or great times at the lake. It was minutes before the weekend when the call came in. The look of fear and distress on my mom's face as she held her eyes tightly shut and hung up the phone. I have triple negative breast cancer, a rare, life-threatening, and aggressive disease. We were all in shock and devastated by the news. My mom, who had always been my hero, was about to start the most challenging fight of her life. She completed many invasive surgeries, destructive chemotherapy, and painful radiation. While she underwent this terrible treatment, we had no idea what was happening to her body would end up making her feel less comfortable as a woman, affecting her pelvic muscles, bladder control, and confidence. And as my dad watched my mom suffer from this horrible disease, he didn't know that it would end up damaging their relationship in ways he could never have imagined. At the time of my mom's cancer treatment, I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I learned to run away from my panic attacks by going to fitness classes. Tears would stream down my sweat-dripping cheeks every time I moved my body. This escape became my obsession, as well as the beginning of my career as a fitness instructor. What I didn't know was that my body was also being destroyed from the inside out, and I was on my way to developing serious health problems as well. I didn't know then, but I was about to face the same problems as my mom. I'm going to share something that I've been too embarrassed to talk about publicly up until now. One spring afternoon, I was teaching my final class of the day. I yelled out with encouragement to my students, and all of a sudden, I accidentally peed myself. I was devastated. Everyone in the class stared in horror at the sight of me standing at the front of the room, soaked. I bet you can imagine how humiliated I felt. But it gets worse. Little did I know, I had a deadly malfunction hiding in the deepest layers of my body. That's what caused my horrific experience in front of the classroom. This malfunction was causing extreme destruction the more active I was. If you've ever had an accidental leak, you too could be a victim, on the verge of spiraling into other serious health problems as well. Although leaking is more relevant after childbirth, it can happen to any woman at any time. However, the good news is, I found out leaking is so much easier to fix than you could have ever imagined, and I'll be revealing exactly how to next. I started to realize that the exercises that used to make me feel great were actually causing my pelvic muscles to become weak. The worst part was that whenever I tried to jump or run, I was leaking. I started to lose control of my bladder, and I felt lonely and isolated. I had never had children before, and I was personally experiencing the same issues many postpartum women have to deal with. I went to the doctor for help, but it just made it worse. I'll be sharing with you the 3 doctor-recommended things women are told will help stop their leaking, but are actually causing severe damage to their pelvic muscles and bladders. I'm also going to share with you an easy 3-step movement sequence that will stop your leaking, all without toxic medications that carry harmful side effects, diapers and pads that only temporarily fix the problem, or risky surgery that is tremendously expensive and time-consuming. As hard as this experience was for me, I felt like I could finally breathe again because my mom experienced a true miracle that stunned our entire family and her entire medical team. Her cancer went into remission. However, as a result of her cancer treatment, her body was sent into early menopause. It caused dysfunction in her pelvic muscles, and oftentimes she would fail to make it to the bathroom in time. She was constantly leaking. You could tell she was becoming more anxious and insecure as the days went on. She stayed in the house as often as she could and stopped socializing with her friends. It broke my heart. I wish I knew then what I know now, but I'm so glad that I can help you. My mom's pelvic muscles were frail. Whenever she went out shopping, she would end up with wet pants. She even told me about a few different occasions where she would run across the grocery store to find the restroom. I was worried sick about my mother's health. My mom tried taking prescription medication to calm her bladder in hopes of stopping her leakage. After waiting several weeks for the expensive drugs to kick in, she started to experience side effects of nausea and heartburn that became worse every time the medication entered her body. She was back to square one, still leaking, and she felt more alone than ever. After peeing myself in front of my class, I was desperate. I had to figure out what was wrong with my body, so that's when I called my doctor. After that appointment, I was sent to several other expensive specialists, all without any signs of improvement. My mom and I both felt like our bodies had been permanently destroyed, but I wasn't ready to throw in the towel just yet. What we didn't know at the time was that just 1 short month later, we would both be glowing with happiness and our leaking would be gone. And if you've been struggling with intimacy with your spouse because of your fear of urine odor or weak pelvic muscles, you'll be amazed how quickly you'll be able to turn things around, gaining your self-confidence and fulfilling relationship back. Did you know, if you feel like your body was never the same after having kids, it could be because you have a separation in your abdominals? Women often think that they just have extra belly fat after their pregnancy. However, that so-called belly bulge, coning, or gap is a splitting of the abdominals known as diastasis recti. A research study from the University of Oslo showed diastasis recti is prevalent in 100% of women during pregnancy, 60% of women 6 weeks after, and 32.6% of women have it years later. I'll be touching more on this in a moment, and I'll be sharing exactly how to repair it to gain a flat, toned tummy. I'm also about to reveal to you the #1 invisible malfunction hiding out in the deepest layers of your body. It's causing your abdominal area to bulge and it's making your pelvic floor weak. Until you solve this sneaky defect, it's going to spiral into much more severe problems, such as back, groin, and hip pain, constipation, reduced sensation in the vagina, painful sex, vaginal heaviness, which may feel like there's a tampon inside, or pelvic organ prolapse, a distinct bulge at the vagina opening. In fact, while you've been spending all of your time on Kegels and lower body exercises, you're going to be shocked when I reveal the real culprit is actually a muscle in your upper body around your chest and shoulders. And I'm going to tell you exactly what muscle that is, and I'll show you how to release it next. Let's start with the 3 doctor recommendations I need to warn you about. Number 1, everyone says that Kegels help strengthen your vaginal walls and pelvic floor. But did you know that this so-called strengthening trick can be extremely unsafe? So many women think their pelvic floor is weak, loose, stretched out. However, most of the time their pelvic floor is so tight that it's actually become weak. Picture a normal rubber band at rest. It's pliable, can stretch, and then go back to its normal tension. It is functional and works very well. This rubber band represents your pelvic floor muscles. However, if the rubber band is chronically tight, overworked, and stretched, it becomes weak. It no longer has room to stretch or work. Instead, it'll break due to its constantly stretched out state. Same thing goes for your pelvic floor muscles when they're overworked and tight. However, not everyone is the same, and I'm going to show you a really easy test you can do that takes just 2 minutes to determine if your pelvic muscles are tight or loose. Based on that, if they're tight, I'm going to tell you to toss those Kegels to the curb, and I'll show you how to release your tight muscles. If your pelvic muscles are loose, I'm going to show you how to do the right kind of Kegels that will actually get you real benefits, rather than wasting your time on all of the squeeze and the release you've been doing without seeing any results. Number 2, women have been told to suck in their bellies to get rid of their pooch, or wear restrictive clothing such as Spanx. But did you know it's making your abdominals and pelvic muscles weak? By constantly sucking it in or holding it in, it creates shallow breathing, which stops the airflow into the rest of your body. Shallow breathing is when you draw minimal breath into the lungs. This means that you only breathe a small amount of air into your chest instead of filling up your lungs. When you can't breathe deeply, your abdominals stop working, which is the communication line between your brain and pelvic floor. It's like having a restrictive corset on your body, squeezing in and shutting down your abdominals, leaving your pelvic floor weak and dysfunctional. Number 3, many women have been told to do crunches to strengthen their abdominals. However, you'll want to stop those crunches immediately if you have diastasis recti, because too much pressure on your core can make your diastasis worse. You'll want to start by reducing any pressure on your core. Even pushing a stroller can be too much. The following exercises are considered diastasis unsafe in the beginning. Any front-loading movements, such as front planks, push-ups, V-sits, rolling like a ball, burpees, pikes on a ball, ab rollouts, crunches, or sit-ups. However, this doesn't mean you can't begin to intensify the abdominal load as you get stronger. While rehabbing diastasis recti, you want to slowly progress to the point where you can handle these front-loading movements, because eventually they become diastasis safe as you get stronger. If you've been moving or exercising in these ways in the beginning, you could be making your leakage and belly pooch much worse because of the deadly malfunction I'm about to reveal to you next. If you're a candidate for any of these doctor recommendations, stop immediately, otherwise you could be standing on the edge of a slippery cliff about to plummet into debilitating illness. If you choose to take the path of surgery, it is risky, painful, and oftentimes it doesn't even work. You'll be forced into overpriced medical bills and months off of work or even playing with your grandchildren in the backyard. I'm about to show you a 3-step movement sequence that will strengthen your pelvic muscles, stop your leaking, and give you fast results you'll notice even on day 1. It's so easy and gentle too. In fact, I was amazed by how fast I stopped my own leaking once I figured out this 3-step method. I've never had a dreadful leak again. And finally, I'm able to get back to the activities I love, such as spending time outdoors and gardening. I'll be telling you exactly what this simple 3-step movement sequence is in a minute. Also, you're not going to believe when I show you how to release the one tight muscle in your upper body that I guarantee you have not thought of that is causing all of your troubles down below. After months and months of wasted medical bills and all of my doctor's advice, I finally hit rock bottom. I couldn't bring myself to go back to the studio again. There was so much pain in my pelvic floor, and I didn't want to risk the embarrassment of leaking again. I called in sick because I didn't want to face anyone. I was sitting in my robe and it was barely noon. I began to search for ways to heal my pelvic floor. I dedicated all of my time reading research studies and personal stories from people all around the world. I was desperate to find a solution, and I couldn't continue to live in a constant state of fear. All of a sudden, I came upon a physical therapist who studied at Charles University School of Medicine in Prague, 1952. I started looking into his unconventional studies, and they were appalling. I was shocked to find out that women are wasting their time on Kegels and crunches while never seeing any results because they actually have an imbalance in their core muscles. And while most doctors have only been trained to look at the organs, this genius of a physical therapist decided to take matters into his own hands and look at the surrounding muscles. This is when he discovered layer syndrome. Layer syndrome is an imbalance of the muscles in the body, and in this case, the muscles in the core are out of balance. Your core is an abdominal canister. The top is your diaphragm, which are your breathing muscles. Your abdominal wall are the sides, and the bottom is your pelvic floor. The pelvic floor is a woven basket of muscles that hold your bladder, uterus, and bowels. The pelvic floor relaxes to allow us to urinate or have a bowel movement. It contracts to stop the flow of urine, tightens the vagina opening, or prevents us from passing stool or gas. When you inhale, your diaphragm presses down, which pushes out on your abdominal wall and down on your pelvic floor. Everything descends down to create space. This should relax your pelvic floor. When you exhale, your diaphragm coils back up, your abdominal wall goes back in, and your pelvic floor lifts back up. This should contract your pelvic floor. If these three parts stop working together, it will cause weakness in your pelvic floor. Weakness in your pelvic floor will cause you to lose control of when you go to the bathroom. And I'll be sharing how to breathe correctly in a moment. Shallow breathing is when you draw minimal breath into the lungs. This means that you only breathe a small amount of air into your chest instead of filling up your lungs. I mentioned a few moments ago that shallow breathing is like wearing a restrictive corset that is squeezing in and shutting down your abdominals, the link between your diaphragm and pelvic floor. Your pelvic floor is no longer able to relax and contract automatically. Therefore, it will become weak and frail. Layer syndrome can be extremely dangerous and can cause serious side effects. Leaking, a protruding belly, or a distinct bulging at the vagina opening, aka pelvic organ prolapse, are just 3 signs from your body warning you of this muscle imbalance. Hello, layer syndrome. In fact, leaking alone affects 200 million people worldwide. 25 million of those people are Americans, and 75 to 80% of those are women. Hundreds of thousands of women are seeking surgery every year to strengthen their pelvic floors or repair their abdominal separation, but they're finding that their problems only get worse and they end up in a mess of complications. If you don't solve your leaking naturally, you could end up being one of those women left in a sticky situation with more pain and problems from when they started off. If only those women knew how easy it is to fix their pelvic floors and cores without the expensive, unreliable, and time-consuming surgeries. Diastasis recti in women is a separation of your middle abdominal muscles. Diastasis means separation, and recti is your middle abdominal muscles, called your rectus abdominis. Your linea alba the tissues between your abdominals become very thin and can create either a dome, coning, or gap on your belly. This can happen at the top of your abdominals, the bottom, or sometimes the entire thing. Diastasis recti is commonly caused by the expansion of the abdomen for various reasons, including pregnancy and weight gain. Why is diastasis recti problematic? Not only will diastasis recti make it hard for you to engage your abdominals, but it will also affect the relationship between your diaphragm and pelvic floor. When your abdominals are weak or unable to engage properly, it will cause weakness in your abdominal canister and your intra-abdominal pressure system. Many women experience symptoms such as chronic abdominal pain, back pain, pelvis instability, and groin pain. Remembering the abdominal canister for a moment and its pressure system. When you have Layer syndrome, your abdominal wall can become weak and no longer function as one with the diaphragm and pelvic floor. After pregnancy, the reason your diastasis recti won't heal back together is because your abdominal canister isn't working correctly, which prevents the healing process from taking place. Same thing. If your pelvic floor is weak, there is a higher chance you'll suffer from diastasis recti because it is just one other component in the canister acting as a weak link. I work with women all the time that are punishing themselves with restrictive diets and overdoing it with crunches to tone and flatten their bellies while never seeing any results. Little do they know, they have Layer syndrome, which is only going to make their bellies bulge even more until they fix this imbalance. However, you'll be shocked how easy it is to heal your Layer syndrome. And it can be done naturally without painful and risky surgeries that have high chances of failing anyway. And I'll be sharing with you next how to release the one tight muscle around your neck and shoulders that is making it harder for you to breathe, affecting your diaphragm function, therefore the rest of your abdominal canister. After that day, I started a 3-step movement sequence that completely healed my Layer syndrome, which strengthened my pelvic floor and stopped my leaking. I even tried it on my mom, and not only does she no longer leak whenever she laughs, coughs, or sneezes, but it also healed her diastasis recti, leaving her with a firm and flat tummy. Once you try it out for yourself, you'll be thrilled that you can finally stop spinning your wheels with starvation diets and back-breaking crunches. You're also going to be shocked when I show you how to release the one tight muscle in your upper body, making your Layer syndrome severely worse. You'll finally be able to heal your leaking and diastasis recti, creating balance in your abdominal canister even faster than before. Your pecs run across your chest and attach to your shoulders. When they get too tight, they pull your shoulders forward, causing our posture to round forward, known as hunch forward posture. Try this with me. Slouch in your chair with your shoulders rounded forward. Now take a deep breath. You'll notice you can't get a deep breath. Now try sitting straight up with your shoulders back. You'll notice you can get a deeper breath. This posture makes our breath shallow because it condenses and squishes our breathing muscles, known as our diaphragm. And as I mentioned earlier, without deep breathing, our abdominal canister becomes weak and dysfunctional because the diaphragm no longer connects to the abdominal wall and pelvic floor. It's like trying to drive a car with only 3 wheels. It doesn't work. I know this can all be really overwhelming, but if you've ever experienced the panic of leaking, you know exactly how awful this can be, and that's why I'm here to help you. You're going to love to be able to get back to shopping trips with your girlfriends and enjoy evening cocktails on the patio, all without having to stay close to the bathroom. By simply doing a variation of this pec stretch every evening before bed, not only can you heal your shoulder pain, but it will leave you with beautiful posture to create natural deep breathing patterns, to heal your pelvic floor, diastasis recti, and abdominal canister. Here's what stretching your pecs is going to do for you. On day 1, your chest will feel more open and your posture will slightly improve. But the cool thing is, after a few days of doing this easy stretch, all of a sudden, you'll start to feel your pelvic muscles firm up, your leaking will stop, and your diastasis recti will heal back together. I'll be showing you several variations of this stretch as well, including one for bed, one for in the privacy of your own bathroom, one for during the day at your desk, and even one for really flexible people. A shoulder injury? I even have a special modification that will work really well for you and can actually heal your injury and stop any nerve pain you may have. This leaking has been holding you back from the body you deserve and the life you deserve. Imagine not being chained by the fear of embarrassment and being able to break free from those chains. You'll finally be able to live an active lifestyle and no longer miss out on dinner parties or outings at the lake. I've personally stopped taking my anxiety medication because my worried nerves have gone away. I'm sleeping through the night again, and I finally have tons of energy to spend on my relationship with my spouse. I'm present, in love, and my dreams of starting a family are in the near future. I've also dropped the 10 pounds I put on over the past year because I was too ashamed and fearful to step foot into the gym. I'm getting back into running near the ocean in the mornings, and I no longer have to wear black pants to hide any wetness. I'm eating healthier because I'm in a better mindset, and I can finally look in the mirror and feel good about myself again. It felt like my mom was finally lighting up the room again with her laughter. She was given a second chance at life. She was a new woman. She had been restricting her diet and doing a million crunches for years, all without any results. And finally, after 4 short weeks, she has lost 15 pounds and did this without any diet or long hours in the gym. Her tummy is toned and tight, and she's finally happy again. She no longer wears overheating, camouflaging clothes, and she looks effortlessly beautiful in tank tops and summer dresses. She's way more relaxed because she can control her bladder, and it melts my heart the way my dad looks at my mom now with her glowing self-confidence. It's obvious when they flirt with each other that they have their intimacy back. She doesn't spend her spare time going to doctor's appointments anymore. Instead, she's getting back into power walking. She even told me she's starting to go swimming on the weekends. And she's been entertaining friends, cooking flavorful dinners, and drinking even better wine. I started to share the secret method with my clients. And it was to no surprise, they all experienced the same outcome. It was incredible. In fact, not only did the program strengthen their pelvic floors, stop their leakage, and flatten their bellies, but they also shared with me that their chronic lower back and groin pain was gone. They no longer suffer from pulling or bulging at the vagina opening, and they were sleeping better because of it. The word began to spread like wildfire. I was changing lives left, right, and center. As women started to appear in my life suffering from the same ailments, it made me think about how many are still around with leaking and diastasis recti and too embarrassed to talk about it. Many of these women are under the impression that they aren't fixable, or their doctor told them surgery was the only option. A lot of them are not even fully aware of their condition. I want you to know that it is possible to fix your body. What you're going through is something many women have experienced before and found success healing their bodies naturally. I made it my life's mission to positively impact and educate women on how it is possible to turn your health around and feel like you again. My goal is to help regain your confidence, joy, and strength. Imagine how good it'll feel when you can put on your favorite dress and stay out with your family and friends without constantly worrying about where the nearest bathroom is. You'll be able to fully enjoy your evening because you're not distracted, waiting for a warning sign that you're about to leak. However, I didn't have the resources to pay for big manufacturers or costly advertisers. That's when a couple friends of mine suggested that I should create an online program. Skipping ahead a few months later, I'm so excited to introduce to you Pelvic Floor Strong. This program is the set of keys you've been waiting for to live a happy, healthy life. Pelvic Floor Strong strengthens your pelvic floor, puts intimacy back in your life, giving you self-confidence while making sex feel good again. This is the only program out there that heals leaking and diastasis recti with the consideration of layer syndrome. All you need is the 3-step movement sequence I designed to efficiently heal your body without cutting into your valuable time. It's going to give you the secrets to belly flattening, diastasis recti healing, and a strong pelvic floor. Pelvic Floor Strong alleviates lower back and hip pain while correcting your posture with the quick pec stretch variations I've simply laid out for you. It stops your anxiety and depression and lets you fall asleep faster and stay asleep throughout the night.
She knows the body, she understands, and she just gets it, and she knows how to take you through what you need for your body. And she's inspired me to incorporate health and nutrition and overall just well-being into my life. She actually got me into the best shape ever for my wedding, and I felt phenomenal.
I have been leaking my entire life after having 3 children. I thought it was normal, and I can remember many times being out of the house and I had to rush home because my pants were soaked. After trying Alex's program, I have totally stopped leaking. I no longer have to worry about having an accident in public. It is also a nice surprise that my core is now stronger and my back pain has gone away, all without having to make any changes to my routine. 3 minutes, that's all.
Hi, my name is Jill, and I'm here to talk to you about Pelvic Floor Strong. It's a fantastic program from Alex, and she's just amazing. The program is amazing, and it really works. I've suffered overactive bladder symptoms for at least 15 years and just thought, well, it's the normal aging process, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to carry pads around with you and extra pair of underwear and always look for where the bathroom is. You don't have to get up at night 6 times and wake up tired. Just by doing a few stretches, like 10, 11 minutes, that's it. I do them about 5 times a week. I've noticed a great difference. I'm rarely getting up to go to the restroom at night anymore. I feel more rested when I wake up. I don't have to plan as much about, where the bathroom's going to be, especially during COVID times because many bathrooms are closed. I highly recommend this program to you, and there's so many great things to say. The videos are professional. Alex really knows what she's talking about, and she's amazing. So please try the program. You won't be sorry. Give it a few weeks to notice the difference. I'm on week 8, and I'm really noticing a difference the last week or 2. So hope you try it, and good luck, and thank you.
My wish is for every woman who is suffering from urinary incontinence to be able to try Alex's program.
Pelvic Floor Strong is an informational video with easy to understand concepts that will heal incontinence, also known as leaking, and diastasis recti. In Chapter 2, you'll learn how to do a proper Kegel that I promise you've never heard of before to strengthen your loose pelvic muscles. In Chapter 3, you'll learn how to engage your abdominals and strengthen your core to heal your leaking and flatten your belly. You'll learn in Chapter 4 how to shift your stance slightly to use 30% more of your muscles. When you use more of your muscles, it boosts your metabolism. You'll be shocked how this simple trick will shed weight off of your body. In Chapter 6, you'll learn the 3-step movement sequence you can do in your bathroom when getting ready in the morning that will strengthen your abdominal canister, including your pelvic floor and core. In Chapter 7, you'll find 3 easy-to-implement steps to add to your routine, which will stop your leaking immediately. Just imagine what it'll feel like to wear that crisp, white summer dress to dinner parties without worrying about the embarrassment it used to lead to. Now, all you need to think about is what kind of wine you prefer as you walk around, catching up with people you care about. Or how it'll feel in the department store dressing room when you're able to look in the mirror at your toned body and flat tummy and feel beautiful in your own skin again. You'll be able to go on long walks with the girls without lower back, groin, or hip pain. Just imagine what it'll feel like to have a restful night's sleep and how energized you'll feel enjoying the things you love again, like a cooking class or dance lessons with your spouse, all without the fear of being exhausted the next day. You're going to feel strong, confident, and powerful in your own body so that you can finally feel like you again. And because you've watched this video, I know you're invested in your health, and that's why I want to invest in you. You're going to receive 2 special bonus products that will enhance your results. Bonus number 1 is a Pelvic Floor Strong informational manual. It is filled with all of the content from the video so that you can access the information at any time. In it, you'll find written out steps on how to achieve a stronger pelvic floor, pec stretches for perfect posture, and a 3-step movement sequence. There is also a single-page diastasis recti improvement checklist so that you can track your progress throughout the program. Normally, this informational handbook and checklist sells for $27, but because I want you to feel beautiful again as quickly as possible, I will be giving it to you today for free. Bonus number 2 is a Pelvic Floor Strong Flat Belly Fast. This is a 10-minute quick start routine video full of my favorite ab exercises. I found once my clients saw their incredible results from Pelvic Floor Strong, they wanted even more tummy toning exercises. This routine is jam-packed with diastasis-safe exercises that have been proven to alleviate back pain, heal diastasis recti, and whittle your waist. By following along, you'll gain a flat tummy even faster. Normally, this ab sequence sells for $17, but because I want you to experience the same slimming results my mom and I did, it is my gift to you. And right now, I have a big surprise for anyone who is watching today. Please let me introduce to you my good friend, Emily Lark, who has something special for you.
Hi, I'm Emily Lark, and I'm known as America's leading healthy back expert. However, one thing most people don't know about me is that for years I struggled with embarrassing leakage, especially after the birth of my second son. During that time, it was hard for me to do a lot of the things I used to love, like going out for jogs or getting up to dance at a wedding. And I'll admit, I was actually terrified anytime I had to sneeze in public. But then my good friend Alex told me about her program, and now I can't believe it. I actually have control over my body again, and I can't thank Alex enough. She changed my life. She gave me my body back. And I'm so grateful that today I want to offer a special gift to anyone else who's watching who's going through what I went through. Now, I know that it's very common for women with pelvic floor issues to also suffer with back pain. So today, I'm going to give away a free copy of my world-renowned Back to Life 3-stretch pain-free method to anyone who decides to get started with Alex's program. The Back to Life 3-stretch pain-free method is one that I have spent years developing, and it has now helped hundreds of thousands of people of all ages to break free from pain without chiropractic adjustments, injections, even without surgery. This method contains my very best stretches for stopping low back pain, sciatica, middle back pain, upper back pain, and even pain in the neck and shoulders. And the best part is that all of these stretches can be done either down on the floor or right in your bed. So it really doesn't get any easier than that. The Back to Life 3-stretch pain-free method normally sells for $49, but I'm so grateful for everything Alex has done for me, and I feel honored to be able to give something back in return. So that's why today only, for anyone who decides to claim their copy of Pelvic Floor Strong, you are also going to receive a free copy of the Back to Life 3-stretch pain-free method. As soon as you get Pelvic Floor Strong, you will get instant access to my 3-stretch pain-free method video so that you can get started breaking free from pain today, right from home.
When I sat down with my agent to add up all the costs of the time it has taken to create Pelvic Floor Strong, he told me I should be charging $150 for the entire program. If you take into consideration all of my certifications and education, all of the time I've spent working hands-on with clients, not to mention the cost of graphic designers, an illustrator, photographers, videographers, video editors, and a recording studio, it made sense. But I left his office feeling like that wasn't right. I don't want to charge you that much and risk you and other women who need it to miss out because of the price. This is an epidemic so many women are facing, and I would never want the price of the program to be the reason women continue suffering. This program isn't about making money. It's about leaving people better off in the world. And that's why I originally marked it down to $79, which after factoring in all of the costs I've incurred, is a great deal. When I first published the program, people couldn't get enough of it. But deep down, I still wanted to find a way to make it even more accessible. I want every woman in the world to experience the same life-changing results as my mom and I did. So I decided to lower the price one more time. Finally, I settled on a one-time payment of $37. For $37, you will receive a nationwide tested program filled with information and movements that are easy to implement into your busy life. This program will change the way you look at fitness and health. And for less than half of the price of one visit to your doctor, you'll be able to make a stand today, preventing permanent damage, taking quality years off of your life. Imagine the cost of all the diapers, pads, and bedding you've purchased over 1 year. I know personally how this can be a terrible financial burden. $37 is so much cheaper than living with this condition. And that's not even with surgery in the picture, which can offer a whole new level of debts and problems. Not only that, but you'll have to take months off of work while you're recovering, which can also cause the debt to pile up. How will you pay your mortgage if things go sideways and you can't work again? For less than $2 a day over 1 month, you'll be investing in a program that you'll be able to pull from and use as a resource for the rest of your life. In fact, I hope you share this information with your girlfriends and family as well. Once you click the button, you'll be on your way to a fast recovery, giving you many years of joy and memories with your loved ones. I'm so confident Pelvic Floor Strong will work for you, and that's why I'm willing to take on all of the risk out of my own pocket. I'm giving you a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't see results within the first 60 days, you can return the product at any time for any reason. Even if you don't like the pictures in the manual, you can return it by sending one email or one quick phone call that won't take longer than 90 seconds. I will give you your money back right away, no questions asked. That's all. One simple step. You won't risk a thing, and you have so much to gain. Your doctor isn't going to give you your money back if their suggestions don't work. No store is going to let you return all the pads and diapers you've used over the years that never solved your problems. And no surgeon is ever going to give you a refund on the costly surgery if it doesn't work for you. There's absolutely no reason that would stop us from refunding 100% of your money. With one click, you too can experience life without leaking or diastasis recti, with zero risk and 100% reward. Just picture what your spouse is going to think of you when he sees how toned your body is, and how excited he'll be when you're no longer avoiding intimacy with him. Imagine how it'll feel to finally go out again together, instead of worrying about the impact on your marriage from always staying behind. Picture the look on everyone's face as you walk into your yoga class, 20 pounds lighter, feeling fabulous in your light-colored tights. Once you click, picture what it'll feel like to finally fit into your pre-pregnancy clothes and not have to pick your outfits carefully in case another leak slips out when you're in public. For $37, you're only one click away from living the life you deserve. Right now, you're at a crossroads between two very different options. Option 1, you don't buy the program. Your leaking is easy to cover up by wearing black pants, or it doesn't happen often enough to be a real concern for you. It doesn't impact your life because you only leak when you rearrange the furniture or when you cough or sneeze. There are millions of women walking around and living with mild to moderate leaking, thinking that it's normal, until one day they find out about the permanent damage they caused in their bodies by not looking after their layer syndrome. If you don't take measures to repair your layer syndrome, the muscles in your pelvic floor, abdominals, and the rest of your body become imbalanced, weak, and can no longer hold your spine and pelvis in place. Without the support of your spine and pelvis, you'll be left in crippling lower back pain, hip and groin pain, shooting nerves down your legs, and more. It can even disable you from walking or breathing on your own. The days when you used to leak or have a bit of a tummy bulge will seem so far away. You may even be forced to endure costly and painful and dangerous surgeries. How is your family going to feel as they wait outside of the operating room for you? This trauma will change them forever. I'll never forget how I felt waiting for news about my mom as she went through her treatments. I care about you, and I don't want you to go through all of these things. Option 2. You purchase the program. All of a sudden, you won't have to hold back on the activities you love, or leave the party early because you're too tired to stay another minute. You won't have to settle for relationships kept at a distance because you're too ashamed someone will find out about your embarrassing health complications. You'll finally be able to build deeper connections with your grandchildren and family, and you'll finally be able to go to the swimming pool and feel great about yourself in your bathing suit. My mission in life is to empower women like you to live big lives full of confidence, where you can accomplish your biggest dreams and goals. Pelvic Floor Strong is the set of keys you've been waiting for to set the rest of your life up for success. This program stops your leaking, diastasis recti, and vaginal pulling. With one click, you'll have everything you need to be fit and strong. Take action now to save yourself from making the same mistakes my mom and I made when we hit rock bottom years back. The faster you get started, the sooner you'll be able to have a flat belly, never worrying about leaking or vaginal pulling or heaviness ever again. You've proven to me by watching this video that you're dedicated to solving your health problems that have been holding you back. And for just $37, you'll receive quality information you'll use every day. If for any reason you're not happy with the program, you have 60 full days to return it. No questions asked, money back guarantee. If you don't act right now, I can promise you'll end up with lower back, hip, and groin pain, and even worse, uncontrollable leaking. We learned the hard way, but you have the chance to free yourself of this quickly and easily. I know you don't want to live in a life of fear, so click right now to experience the healthy, happy life you've always wanted. And I value privacy and security above everything else. So I wanted to make sure that your online order process is 100% secure. That's why I chose ClickBank. ClickBank is one of the world's top 100 retailers, and I chose them because they use the same encryption data as Amazon, the most secure software data out there. Once you click the button, the next page is going to pop up. It's going to ask you for some brief information. Once you enter it, there is a one-time payment and you'll never be billed again. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope this information helps you. Click the button right now and join me and thousands of women who are loving their bodies again, living their fullest lives. Frequently asked questions. Number 1, what if I just don't have enough time in my day to do this program? Don't worry, I know how busy life can get. Whether you're a grandparent watching your grandkids while running a household, or a working woman, this program was made to be quick and easy so that it blends seamlessly into your normal life. Number 2, will this program work for someone who is 60 plus? Yes. This program is specifically for women 40 plus. However, I found some of the best results are from women 60 plus. I have designed modifications and variations in the movements to customize the program to your specific needs. Number 3, what if I'm not in good enough shape? This program is the most gentle movement program in the market with the most efficient results. If you find any of the movements are too much for you, there's plenty of non-intimidating modifications to build your strength from the ground up. Number 4, will this program work for someone who had children 15 plus years ago? Yes. In fact, the longer it's been since you had your last child, the easier it'll be to heal your Layer syndrome, stopping your leaking, and diastasis recti. Number 5, what if I've had a C-section? Will this program still work for me? Yes. In fact, many women experience leakage and weak pelvic muscles even if they've had a C-section due to the weight and pressure of the baby. This is very common, and Pelvic Floor Strong will work just as well for you. Number 6, What if I've never given birth? Will this program work for me? Although these ailments are more common in women after childbirth, I personally have never had a child, and I experienced pelvic floor dysfunction and leaking. This program will still help you the exact same way it helped me. Number 7. Is all of my credit card information secure and safe? Yes. Your personal information is 100% protected because we use the same encryption data as Amazon, the most secure software data on the market. Number 8. Will my credit card be billed more than once? No. Once you enter your credit card information, you will be charged a one-time payment. You will never be charged again. Number 9. What if this program doesn't work for me? If the program doesn't work for you, you have a 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. You're in good hands, and I'll be with you every step of the way. I've designed this with your health in mind. Please make sure to write in after and let me know about your amazing results. Click the button now.